was booed by their own fans during a destination festival the group held over the weekend in the Dominican Republic called Live in the Sand. They had a number of great acts performing at this festival, including Mastodon taking the place for the first time with a fill-in guitarist after that shocking announcement recently that Brent Hinds had exited the band. Now, as for Tool, this has apparently become such an issue with some of their fans who were disappointed by what went down at this festival that some of them are actually considering a class action lawsuit. Now, as to whether or not this rises to that level, I'll let you decide, and then we'll kind of talk about how this is all going to shake out at the end of this. But this is what happened at this festival. Now, I can say that I've seen Tool a number of times over the years, and every single time I've ever seen them, they've put on an amazing performance. So let's see kind of what the ruckus is about here, because that lineup from Live in the Sand was really great. The Dominican Republic is beautiful. I was just down there a couple of months ago. So, I mean, it seems like a pretty good time down there on the beach, Live in the Sand, catching Tool for two unique sets that fans are saying weren't so unique. Here's more. It was the weekend most rock fans would dream of. Tool, Live in the Sand. 2 sets right on the beach at the Hard Rock and Royalton Resorts, March 7th, 8th, and 9th. And as I look at this amazing lineup, I ask myself, why didn't I go? But look at this. You've got Primus, Mastodon, Coheed and Cambria, Eagles of Death Metal, and so many other great bands. Primus performing on stage with their new drummer, and Mastodon performing with their fill-in guitarist after that shocking announcement that Brent Hinds would no longer be in the band. The band took the stage with guitarist Ben Eller, who is also a YouTuber who's said to have done a very good job. And so Tool's first performance went off without a hitch in such a beautiful environment right on the beach in an all-inclusive destination festival. What more can you ask for? Well, considering that Tool is playing 2 shows, fans expected there to be 2 unique sets as advertised. And it turns out that's not exactly what they got, which ultimately led to boos from outraged fans in the crowd. So unfortunately, as it turns out, there were 4 songs that were played in both sets on night 1 and night 2. We've seen things from Metallica where they have a no-repeat weekend, and they play 2 different shows. They're doing stuff in stadiums this year that are similar, where you'll get a different show on Friday night, and then on Sunday, you'll get a totally different set list. So fans are outraged that between the 2 shows they played during the weekend, 4 songs were the same during both sets. Now, in all fairness to Tool, they have like 8-minute songs. A lot of their songs are much longer than your traditional radio format music, so maybe that kind of factored into the decision. But here are the set lists from both nights at this Live in the Sand festival. Here is your set list for night 1. Looks like a pretty good set list. And then your set list for night 2. And as you can see, 4 songs are the same on both set lists. And unfortunately, this led to a lot of fans in the crowd booing during the performance, the second show that Tool did, feeling as though they didn't get 2 unique set lists as they were promised as a part of this destination festival. And this is likely a show that many fans traveled a great distance to go to. They spent vacation money to go to this. This wasn't like a show that you took a road trip to go to. A lot of people are taking flights for this and spending a lot of money on it, if I had to imagine. I don't know how much it costs, but let's just go ahead and say I guess it costs a pretty penny if you're making that kind of a trip. And I think by and large, it looks like a pretty good experience. The only thing that comes down to the frustration for these fans is that there was some songs that were played over again during the second set. I'll let you decide. I would honestly love to hear if this is something that would really piss you off. If, like if I saw the Foo Fighters and they played Everlong twice, I don't know that I would necessarily be mad about that. Or even if Metallica, they don't do this, but if I saw Metallica twice in the same weekend and they played Enter Sandman twice, I probably wouldn't be mad and threatening a class action lawsuit. But this is kind of what's going on, and here is that moment that was shared on Reddit where you can hear fans in the crowd pissed off about this, booing, as Tool is playing a number of the same songs they played on their first night. It's a lot of booing. A law office is reportedly circulating information on Facebook advertising a potential class action lawsuit, saying Did you pay $4,000 to $10,000 plus for the Tool in the Sand festival with promises of 2 unique Tool performances? And I gotta say, if it's over $4,000 for this festival, man, that is a lot of money. It says, promises broken. You were promised 2 unique Tool set lists. You paid premium prices, over $4,000 based on these promises. The second show repeated approximately 60% of the first night's set list. The second performance ended early. You may be entitled to compensation. Our firm is investigating a potential class action lawsuit against the organizers of the Tool in the Sand Festival for potential breach of contract and misrepresentation. Who qualifies? Attendees of Tool in the Sand Festival. Purchase tickets and packages based on the promise of 2 unique performances. Experience substantially repeated set lists on the second night. No fees unless we win. Now, the attorney making this post says he's not only a huge Tool fan, but also a festival attendee who feels your pain and seeks justice for all of those potentially ripped off by a classic bait and switch. So first of all, I just want to say, if it's over $4,000, if it's baseline price of $4,000 plus, does that include travel? I mean, I'm wondering, it's a pretty expensive festival there, and, you know, they have like cruises that have bands on them, and I haven't seen prices necessarily even in that neighborhood, so that's a pretty expensive experience. But with that in mind, was the performance good? I'm imagining anytime Tool puts on a show, it's a really good show. So I don't know. I mean, I certainly understand the frustration that fans have about this. Booing in the crowd. Some people were obviously pissed off about that. There's just been so many times where fans have gone to festivals or these type of experiences and didn't come away with their expectations being met. And so maybe there was a miscommunication. They said 2 unique sets. Maybe there's a little bit of wordplay, read the fine print going on. I don't know. I don't know if this rises to the level of a class action lawsuit. There was somebody, I saw a picture of someone who hung up a MJK sign on their hotel balcony. So it seems like they're blaming Maynard for all of this. Poor guy always gets blamed, like when they blame the extended durations between Tool albums on him. And he has said, actually, I put out a lot of music constantly. It's not me. So I don't know. I've never met anybody in Tool. In some ways, I feel bad for them because I think they only have so much in their catalog. They only release like 1 album every 10 years. So there's going to be some degree of overlay. Their music is extremely complex. So it's not maybe as interchangeable as, let's say, a Metallica's is. All these different time signatures. Who knows what happened? But most importantly, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. Were you there? What was your experience like here? Were you disappointed? And I don't know. And $4,000 and up for any festival, man, that's a lot. I mean, you go to these great festivals here in the U.S., it's a couple $100. It's a few $100. And even people feel that's too high. So this Tool Live in the Sand festival, man, seems to have done very well for them, but some people are left disappointed. Thank you as always. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for the latest news and updates right here at Rock Feed.